It pains me to say this, but due to recent events, I have to do a lot of things. This may be the end of the Blood and Steel series. And I'm saying this because the series is just not going as far as I thought it would right now. I've just been complicit with a lot of people. I've been talking to a lot of people online. I have been talking to a lot of people that like my work. I've not been very active on Wattpad recently, so I haven't done a lot of things. I expected to do a lot more, not gonna lie, but at the same time, I also do know that this is just adulthood hitting me. And as soon as I understood my job, my voice acting job, there's really not much I can do anymore. So this is going to be one last push to actually end this series before I leave. But pretty much, I don't know if I'm going to leave Wattpad itself, but I do know this is most likely going to be the last time you may hear me say something about the Blood and Steel series for quite some time that involves creating brand new stories. This could be the last time. And I just want that to be known, is that this may actually be one of the last times that I do this, because I'm now talking to other people. I can start allowing you guys to take all of the lore that's happened already and just do whatever you want with it. Like maybe one day you just do whatever you want, because I'm leaving this up not just for me but for other people to watch my content. It's not like I'm super controlling of my content, but the truth of the matter is that I've just not had the time to write anything. But now that I have the time to write something, I now have the time to do one final part of Blood and Steel. The moment I'm done, the moment I have written the last parts of Blood and Steel, that generally will mean a lot for people, because I have a couple of friends of mine who were very excited about the first series I created. But now that it's getting old, now it's getting older, and now it's maturing, I have to have a lot more talks with people, because now the fact that it's getting older and different enemies are arriving and all of this is going on, I don't realistically know if there's a future for Blood and Steel. But all I do know is that the moment the NC is gone, there's most likely going to be the longest peace period that people will have, where none of the major powers fight each other for quite some time. And I think this is where everything stops. Every single thing just stops right here. Because the NC is going to be the last major threat that the United Planets has to deal with. The moment that they're gone, there's peace. There'd be a good chunk of peace. There would no longer be constant fighting between bickering sides, because there's no system where two superpowers exist. People are always like, well, yeah, there has to be two or three. No, one. If there's more than one, there's going to be a lot of bickering from those multiple powers. And that's what I'm showing you, is that there has to only be one major superpower. If there's more than one, there's going to be a clash between the two. And the video I'm creating about faction fights with the United Planets and the ENC this is going to lead off of the faction fights, and it's going to be a help for the last parts of Blood and Steel. Me as a writer, I have no idea who's going to win this fight. I have to do my research about both sides, even though I already know good portions of the United Planets, because I remember creating every single part for them. But the new coalition is one of the strongest, if not the strongest opponent they've faced yet, that could even be stronger than them. Keep that in mind, people. This may be one of the first times they've ever faced an opponent stronger than them. So they have to possibly do different things. They have to be different when handling the situation with a superpower. And if you really think about it, remember when the United Planets came in? They were a brand new, fresh off the boat power. Well, now history is repeating itself. And now we're going to see who will win a conflict in this case. Who would win between the exact same pickups but with different people in the beginning? And many people realized what I was doing with this. I'm ending it off the same way it began, by creating a new superpower to rule the galaxy. Does that mean the United Planets is going to die or lose its superpower status? No, there's just no way it's losing that status, even if it loses the war tremendously. It has way too much of the economy under its control. It has way too much of the military-industrial complex under its control. Even if they lose the war so badly that their government can't repay all of the loans or completely is destroyed, whatever comes out will still be a superpower. That tells you just how bad the war would be for the NC. This is going to be a devastating war. This won't just be a war where a few 100,000 people die on each side. This would be a war where tens of millions could die. So this is not something so simple that could easily... If I had to say myself, I would definitely say the war would cost between 15 and 35 million lives. That is a lot of lives. And keep in mind, the galactic population is only 2 trillion. It's only that big. So 35 million people, 15 to 35 million people is quite a bit. And it's quite a bit of the population, too. It would change how everything works. And if the NC does collapse, one of the largest galactic economies just falls. So many nations have invested in them. So if they do get killed, all those nations lose stock and all those nations lose trillions of credits that they've invested. That's not good. But I think the United Planets knows this too. And if they get invaded, the exact same thing happens as well. This is why these two powers did not want to have war in the first place. They knew no matter what they did, if one of them collapses or is hurt badly, stock on all nations and every single economy will drop. They knew that no matter what they did, both economies would suffer. So the fourth intersolar war is basically what this is going to be named, is who would win? Not only that, but who would not take a larger beating than the other? Who would take a larger beating and who would lose more if they would fight this conflict? And I'm much more scared to leave this series. I'm scared to leave it. At the same time, I really don't have the time. I don't have it anymore. Maybe a couple months ago, I had the perfect amount of time, but now when I don't have time to write all the lore, I don't have all that time to do that because college is just right around the corner yet again. I don't have that beautiful amount of time that I used to. So I have a lot of things I need to get done before I can have other times that I can write these stories. Maybe next summer I can continue these stories. I could continue this next year easily. But There's no way I can do any more this year. So as my final thing I need to say is, this is going to be a very important message that I think many people that watch my content on Wattpad and YouTube need to hear. Does it mean that this is the end of every single series? Let's just wait and find out, because if I do come back, and not only that, but I come back better than ever, I may finally just make another series that is similar, or maybe a series that's maybe a couple million years down the line. Who knows? Let's just, as I said, let's just wait and see. Don't even know if this is going to be any different, but I can tell you the end of the Blood and Steel series is going to be one of the best endings I've made. And I did say that about the last ending about A Fight for All, and well, you guys actually agreed with me, as that was the most well-loved Fight for All series chapter of any single one. By even the next two in line are not better combined. That is how good people thought the ending was. And well, I'm about to make this ending even better, because I'm going to invite old friends that used to be part of the A Fight for All series. So Blacktop has a couple of characters that were involved before, so they're going to get involved. They're going to get involved with this one. So you're probably going to ask me, well, when will this be done? Well, I'm going to be writing the lore from now until July 4th. July 4th is going to be the day you guys get to see a trailer. That's right, July 4th. This year, you're going to see a trailer. And out of every day I choose, it's July 4th. Why July 4th, you may ask? There's a reason for that. Hey, you silly, what are you doing? The reason why I chose July 4th is Independence Day for the Americans. I did that because that's also the same day all my lore will get written done. So July 4th is when I will release my very last trailer for the Blood and Steel series, for the very last one. I want every single person that I have ever put into these series, every single person, and I'm going to make it so that this encompasses everything. Encompasses all of the good guys, all of the bad guys, all of the history, all of the constant fighting will have succeeded. But I also need to create one last good villain. A villain that not only has the motive, but has the real well reasoning to do what he's doing. So, yeah, that's all I have to say at this point. So this is just a quickie video, just telling you guys the ending of the Blood and Steel series will be here very, very soon. When do I expect this to be done? By the end of July. I expect this to be completely done by the end of July. So that means this series has been going on 4 months. Can you believe that? 4 months. And I've already covered in their universe over 1,000 years of history. That's insane. Freaking insane, man. And that's only 1,000 years. Only 1,000. And so much has happened in that time span. That's insane. Well, I'm glad you guys paid attention this far. If you made it this far into the Blood and Steel series, good on you. There's going to be one last one. And once it's done, I believe that'll be it. And that'll be everything. As I say it one last time, thank you guys so much for paying attention. I hope to see you guys next video, which will be the potential final battle between the two most powerful entities in the galaxy.